The first sign, there's no room for growth. Hey ladies, how you doing? So I did a video a while back and you guys really enjoyed it, and it was about pretty much changing careers in your 40s. And I was like, you know what, I do like talking about career because one, you guys know I do have a job, I do work a 8 to 5, and I said, you know what, let me talk about a little bit more in regards to changing careers and things like that in your 40s. So I want to kind of piggyback off that video, but I kind of want to go a different direction. I want to talk about pretty much how do you know first on when to either quit your job or to transition or to do whatever you want to do to move forward in your career. So I wrote 3 things down here, and I'm going to elaborate on why I picked these 3, because these are some things that I had to ask myself because I was dealing with. I'm trying to look at my computer, I have them sitting right here. These are some things that I was pretty much dealing with. I'm going to elaborate on them and share me in the comments if you have experienced any of these. Also, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. My name is Kelly, as you already know, and I talk about beauty, lifestyle, and self-development, and a little bit of other things too, but you know, those are pretty much my little fortes that I kind of stick to. So let's get right into it. The first sign, there's no room for growth. You can't learn nothing else. You have hit the ceiling. It is a done deal. Now, I'm not a career expert, so I'm not going to talk in those terminology. I'm talking to you as one of your girlfriends, and we're sitting down, we're having a cocktail, and we are talking about our lives, our careers, and so forth and so on. So you're not growing, you're not learning, or you have learned all you can possibly learn. Now, I know there was a time where they would say, oh, learn something different, learn something, take on a new task, and then you can use it to move on, or learn something, and when something comes up, you might be considered for that position. We don't live in them times anymore. I know. I don't know about you. Maybe you do. Maybe your job, you know, has that for you. But I know for me, that's no. Time is money. Time is money. And I understand we want to, you know, grow our skills, stuff like that. Maybe for someone younger, but someone in their 40s, for me, I can't. I'm speaking to you from my perspective. So most of you know I did recently start a new job back in November, and I was pretty much at that point at my particular job. I wanted to advance my career. I pretty much knew everything from inside and out, up to down, across, whatever. I knew everything, and I knew that I could not grow no more in that department. So I had to either find something elsewhere or I had to just leave. So I made that decision, and I got me a new job. And you know, you can always feel that out in your department. You will know it when you know that you know your job, where you can sit down for 4 days, don't do any work, and the next thing you know, you bust your work out. And you may say, well, if that's the kind of work that you had, then why would you leave your job? You know, you can kind of milk that and do something else. No, my thing is, I'm giving you 8 hours of my time. I need to enjoy what I do or learn more at the same token. If you kind of get what I'm trying to say. Like I said, leave in the comments if you can relate to what I'm saying. So my first sign is there's no more room to grow. There's nothing else for you to learn. You're pretty much at your cap. You know, and then for me, I'm in finance. So how I work was I had finance people, and then you have people that do programmatic work or other administrative work. That's not my forte. So in order for me to learn more, I would have to kind of scale over on that side of town. But I did not want to do that. I want to stay in finance. That's my niche. I want to stay there. Second sign, your mental health is at risk. When you feel like you come to work every day, even if it's remote or whatever the case may be, and you're sobbing about a report, and I don't mean sobbing about it in the fact of like, oh, I gotta do it, because you gotta do your work, but in the fact of like, you know, you're nervous because you're gonna get yelled at if it's not done right, or they talk down to you, or the environment is just, you know, a bad environment. You don't feel like you fit in. You know, in the beginning you did, but now they feel like, you know when you're being targeted, and your anxiety levels is high, you're feeling like you're getting depressed at work, all these different things where your mental health is involved. I'm gonna give you an example. I worked at one of the hospitals here in the Raleigh area, and I had a supervisor. She was unbelievable. In the beginning, she was like, because she was new, so she wanted to get everybody on her side and things like that. And normally I'm not the kind of person where I care about a supervisor or I care about a coworker. I'm pretty much in my lane. I tend to myself. I do have coworkers, but I'm pretty much in my lane. And everything was cool. And later on, she just pretty much flipped on me. Like everything she was critiquing everything that I was doing before the same exact way. And then she flipped on me. And then it became to the point where I would be nervous at work. I'm in my car figuring if I'm going to cry or not. Like, why is this happening to me? I've been at this place for 6 years and I feel like my career is going downhill. It just was, I'm reaching out to EAP. I'm finding my own situations, trying to figure out how can I make the situation even better. I'm going to human resources. I'm going to my director, and nothing was happening till the day I handed in my resignation. Before I handed my resignation, she changed my seat and she put me at the front of the door. So how can I get work done? I work in finance and I need quiet. I need certain things. And she put me in an outside cubicle. Nothing's wrong with a cubicle because I sit in a cubicle now. If I was at the office, I have a cubicle now versus before I had an office. And what she did was she put me there to make my life miserable, right? But the same day she moved me was the same day I gave her my resignation. She was so pissed because she knew that the taunting that she was doing to me was over. So on my last day of work, she didn't know. I went to her before then. I went to her and I said, I need you to put in the system that I'm leaving. I gave my resignation letter, so you need to put it in. Oh, it'll get in. So she didn't want to put it in, so I wouldn't get an exit interview. So my last day, the day before my last day, I called HR. I said, hey, I never got an email about my exit interview. They said, well, we don't have anything showing that you have resigned. So I said, really? So I said, well, tomorrow's my last day. So I went to my supervisor. I said, look, I just called HR. HR said they don't have my resignation on file and I'm not scheduled for an exit interview. She turned red. When I tell you red, tomato red, she turned red because she was trying to stick me. But listen to the story. Now, meanwhile, I was miserable, shed a tear a few times, unhealthy environment, not feeling like, I belong, critiquing my work. I'm like, oh God, this is where I have to go. This woman can fire me. I work in North Carolina as an at-will state. I'm not protected. All these different things that's going through my mind because they already tried to put me in the office and talk to me about certain things and put that as a verbal. Meanwhile, I didn't know where it came from. But let me move forward. I'm giving y'all story time now. So then, the next day comes, and I was a team lead, and everybody on my team was like taking pictures with me, giving me gifts, wishing me well, all these different things, right? And she says, you need to come in here and do some work. And I was like, now for those of you who work in healthcare, if you know about Epic, this is when Epic was getting launched in a lot of the hospitals here in North Carolina. And I was on the Go Live team and everything. So I was like, well, I have a exit interview at 10 o'clock with human resources, so I'll be leaving anyway. And my exit interview was scheduled for 4 hours. And she looked at me like, what? So I got my exit interview. I went over to the HR department, got my exit interview. My exit interview lasted for 2 hours. It was not 4 hours. It was only supposed to last 15 minutes, but it lasted for 2 hours. Let me tell you this. That next Monday, it was what's in September? Labor Day? I think it's Labor Day. Memorial Day is in June or May. Whatever that, in August or September, whatever that is, that Monday. So that Tuesday, my director got fired. The next 2 weeks, she got walked out. Let me tell you something. When you work and I was asked to come back to my job, by the way, but I said no. I said, you know what? It was still other people there that would probably want to finish off the work for the other people that got let go. If you work in an environment, remove yourself. Control what you can, not what you can't. I can't control those people. but I can control myself getting out. So when you know you work in an environment that's pretty much messing with your mental health, you need to move forward. Last but not least, you are underpaid. Ladies, gents, if you are watching, if you are underpaid, I know, let me tell you, I worked in an area where I was told, you're going to get more work, you're not going to get paid more because you're doing the same work, which is adding on more contracts. So one of my coworkers' analogy was, so you mean to tell me if I work for a cleaning company and I'm cleaning 2 floors, but now you got a bigger bid and now you can clean more floors and you're going to put 2 more floors on me, I don't get paid more for them floors? I got to keep doing the same amount of work? The response was, in that situation, you probably would get paid more, but this situation, you're not. That's when you know you got to go. It's nothing wrong with asking for more money because yes, you have to prove it and you have to sit back and say, okay, well, if I'm doing this work and this is what I'm going to be doing and it's adding on extra, will I get paid for it? And it should be yes, you can get paid for it. It should not be no. And that's where I was. I was in a situation where I was doing more work. I had more contracts on me, more assessments, more audits that I was doing, and I wasn't getting paid for it. So I'm looking at my thing. You're not growing. You can't grow no higher. You can't advance or anything like that. You're not getting paid, and then you're dealing with mental issues. It's time to go. Fortunately, where I recently left, I didn't have any mental issues. Everything was nice and cool. Only thing I was underpaid, and I knew it all. Not means I say I knew it all. I knew all of that particular position. So there was no room for me to grow, and they were not making any more positions for me. So I had to make the executive decision to move forward with my career, if that makes any sense. I'm going to give you a bonus as well. This bonus here is if the environment is toxic, you have to go. Now, the little story I just told you a little while ago, that was a toxic environment. I mean, I didn't get into details of actually everything that was going on, but for the most part, it was definitely a toxic environment. And just by hearing my ending of it, by both of them got let go, my director and my supervisor, that goes to show you I wasn't the only one who was pretty much getting their wrath, if you will. Sometimes managers feel like they have to really put their authority out there, and they really don't have to. At the end of the day, we know who you are. You are the manager, the supervisor, and the director. So you don't have to do that. You will get the respect that you deserve as long as you do and treat me and others as you should. Point blank and point simple. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you are on the fence, about, staying at your job. I'm not saying quit your job. Don't quit. I'm a firm believer in stay at your job until you have another. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to let nobody take our coin away from us. Trust me when I tell you, you can always prolong a situation. And one thing I say is, if you can't go to your higher ups in management, because I was told recently, I had a little altercation with someone, and I'm not confrontational by any means, so don't think that. But I do speak up for myself, and I was pretty much asking a question, and then I was told some unpleasant things, and I said, don't talk to me like that. You can talk to me in a different manner. I said, if that doesn't change, we can take this to management. They told me I am management. And just like that, I said, okay. And I had to let them know, you're not going to do me like that. So what I did was I followed chain of command. And I went to my director or the director of the department. And I voiced my opinion. The director was like, I had enough of the complaints. Not from me, but from others. I had no clue there was other complaints. And she said, do you mind if I bring HR in right now? I don't got a problem. I ain't even get my thoughts out. brought HR in. Before I knew it, I'm on the phone with HR for like 2 hours, because apparently this is an ongoing thing. One thing I've come to realize as I'm getting older, I guess because, and they say as you get older you let things go, but I feel like as I'm getting older my antennas are going up a little bit more, if that makes any sense. Versus before, when I was young, I'm like, girl, bye, I don't care, I get a new job. But now I'm in a career, you know, this is what I went to school for, you know, you ain't playing with me and I ain't playing with you. So I swear to God, I'm not confrontational. I just want to be respected. But let's keep that right there. And we're gonna end this. But what are some signs that you like to go by when you feel you need to quit your job or to move on? And also share with me some of you that may have been on your job for years, you know, and what is the tips and tricks that you've learned along the time to, you know, stay on your job and, you know, have longevity. Because sometimes I feel like now, you know, you have to like move around all the time. So let us know, you know, let me know, let the folks down in the comments know. So I want to say, hit up my new subscribers, hey to all my loyals. Thanks for hanging out with me. Catch you next video. Bye.